Hey folks, it's Dr. Rowe. Hope you are well. This is kind of a recording done right at the end of the year. So I wanted to tackle a subject with you, which I think is a nice transition from the old year into the new year. And that's stepping into the new year with confidence. And the question that has been coming up, and it's one I think that a lot of people don't necessarily connect the two together so closely, but I actually think they're umbilically connected. And that is how to be confident and how that's linked to communication. Because actually, the truth is that you could look at somebody without them saying a single word and get a feeling that that person has confidence. And that's the way they communicate themselves across to you. And I think for a lot of people, carrying confidence into a meeting, into a relationship, into a new relationship, on a date with your kids, whether it's in the work environment, speaking in front of the public, dealing with people on a sales basis, dealing with customers, there's something built into the nature of confidence that reassures people, but at the same time makes people want to spend more time with you, around you, and if you have products and services, to buy from you. So I'm going to put up 4 things, 4 really important steps or stages or whatever you want to call them, that I think are quick wins that give you the opportunity to very, very quickly move from possibly feeling not so confident or going into a situation where you find that lack of confidence starting to creep in, how to make a quick shift. So here's the 4 things. Now, those of you that have followed me on the Communicating with Impact process, if you've looked at any of the system that I use, the 38 components, you might recognize a few of those from that system. I want to try and bring those together and integrate them here in this short message for you. First things first, when it comes to confidence, your physiology, that's how you carry your shoulders, how you carry your stomach, your core, your legs, the tension in your muscles, whether you're relaxed or tense, your face, your eyes, even to some extent how you're breathing. This is all your physiology. You can tell when somebody looks confident because they stand with confidence. So that's the first thing I ask people to look at. We refer to something called the Triad. And the Triad, one of the first things we look at in Triad, the base is the physiology of your situation, whatever your situation is. Like, for example, if you're out and about in a meeting and you start to do this and you start to rock and move around. Let me move this out of the way for a minute. And your shoulders crunch in and your hands go into your pockets down, especially if you're a bloke, down towards your crotch. Sounds crazy as that sounds, that's like a defensive mechanism. Depending on where your feet are pointing, that can also show a lack of confidence. So from me standing like this and saying, I just want to talk to you about something, to me going hands out, open palm gesture, the gesticulation of my hands with my words. This is something I talk a lot about with the CWI process, is how you match your words specifically to the end of a sentence, for example, makes a difference, because it gives that word impact or that sentence impact. So that's really important, your physiology. So start to be aware, observe really confident communicators, and that will give you a strong indication of what they do with their physiology. Very confident people will stand strong, their shoulders will be back, their face will be engaged, their whole physiology will tell you, I'm confident. So that's the first thing. Quickest way to change in any situation your emotional state, your physical state, is to change your physiology. Even breathing like this and just getting yourself loosened up. Not that you do that in front of your audience, although I do for a bit of fun and I tell them that's what I'm doing. But actually, if you're going into a meeting, maybe prior to the meeting, just get your village, go into the toilet, get yourself psyched up a little bit, get that air down into your lungs, get your physiology there. And as you walk into the meeting, or as you're sitting there in the meeting, or if you're going to about to give a presentation, number 2 is being clear on your message. One of the great things about people who are confident is when they're communicating, you just get a sense they're really clear on what they want to say. The minute your brain is on lots of different locations in your mind, you're asking lots of questions in your head about what about this, what about this, what about that. You're thinking, I need to say that, I need to say that, I need to say that. Oh gosh, I need to say that. Oh yeah, I need to say that as well. I've got to say that as well. I've got to say that. All of a sudden, and again, this is one of the first key components of the whole communication system that I teach people, is you've got to have clear messages. My message is just simply confidence in this video. It doesn't need to be anything else. So, simple rule of thumb, thin out all the noise. Don't let the chatter that's going on in your head overwhelm you, and focus ultimately on the clear message that you want to get across. You tie that with your physiology the same way I'm doing it right now. Let's say there's 3 messages. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. You might have 8 you want to get across, but 8's going to be too much, and you're going to start to lose impact. You're going to spread yourself too thin. So keep the message clear. Number 3 is certainty. When you deliver the message, deliver it with certainty. Now, we do that, of course, with our physiology, and we'll come to the last one, which is tonality, in just a moment. But we're doing this with a really clear, strong sense of certainty. This is what I believe. So certainty really stems from your beliefs, your core beliefs. You have to believe in the message you're getting across. And if you believe in it strongly enough, your tone, your vocals, even the words you use will really captivate the other person in such a way they go, man, this person really knows what they're talking about. So be certain about what you're talking about. The minute you go, yeah, I think so, straight away you're stepping off that 10 down to about a 6 of confidence and certainty. Person goes, yeah, I'm not sure I believe in what they're saying. And of course, the minute that person has doubt in you, then those little voices come in and you start thinking, oh my gosh, I don't feel so confident. Maybe they don't trust me. And we're back into that cycle again. So certainty, have absolute certainty about what you're delivering. And the last thing is your tonality. And this is a huge thing, tonality. We talk about physiology being 55 to 60% of communication. Well, the next big chunk is tonality. 35 to 40% of how people receive our communication with impact is definitely down to the tonality of our voice. If you notice what I'm doing here is I'm communicating with you. I'm clearly stating what I'm saying to you, but at the same time, I'm using sentence structure in such a way that it's dying off slightly at the end. So I'm bringing the tone down and parking it with certainty, as opposed to going, well, I think this is the right way to tell you what you need to do. And honestly, I think if you do this, it'll absolutely make such a difference. That whoop, 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 whoop in my tonality gives you a sense of, you know what, this person's kind of a little bit chirpy and they're not sure I believe what they're saying. That's not to say, as I'm doing now, you can't lift your tonality up at certain times. But that needs to be done with physiology and certainty, and the sentence needs to be almost cut short, just like I'm doing now, to create that impact. Whereas if I'm talking all the time, I'm speaking like this, there's no space for you to process, but at the same time, you can get nervousness coming through, this jitter that's coming out of my mouth. So I want to make sure that I'm saying things very specifically and giving you a chance to process, but at the same time, each time I pause for a minute, and then I say something, it's a little bit like I'm into a fight. I go, boo, do, do, do. So you're creating that impact with your tonality and the way you're using your words. All right, so 4 things. Physiology, how you hold yourself. Clear message, keep it simple, know what you want to say. Certainty is being absolutely certain about what you're saying, having the beliefs in what you're saying. And the last thing is the tonality, varying it, but also creating it like a boxing match where the words are coming out and they have some impact to them as well. They're not just a splur or a blur of words coming out of your mouth. Okay, on that note, I'm going to sign off and I will wish you a happy new year.